Hello, greetings. Um, Sorry it's kind of a late post, but I mean, it's not really that late. It's, I think, after 5. Anyways, I had other things to do today. Just kind of relax. And I did some crocheting. So, let's get on with our story. Flush Fever. Story 1, the beginning. And this chapter is called Combining Resources. I received a call from Keiko Kamaka. He wants to talk to me about the illnesses and hopefully help me find out how or who killed Double T. He tells me about something he found in the camcorder that Double T was filming while he was attacked and murdered. I usually do not like TV reporters, but I need all the help I can get to solve this. We continue on a telemed chat. I get a large pot of coffee going. It is going to be a long night. It appears that Dr. Peterson was indeed not just bit, but eaten by whatever attacked him. Parts of his intestines are missing, as well as stomach and liver. It is the bullet to the head that does indeed look like the cause of death. Testing takes time, but we are working as fast as we can. The lab also has 3 security guards, one stationed out back and one on the first floor street level. The other techs are busy at work going over 3 bodies we have on slabs, and we have 11 more in body lockers, waiting 14 altogether. We sit in different offices via telemed, and as Keiko drinks green tea and nibbles fruit from a bowl, I drink coffee black and eat a bagel and peanut butter with raisins. Based on my reports from last night, I only saw one patient that could possibly be the carrier of some sort of undetermined illness. We have isolated Ian Brooks as the carrier of the virus or illness. We are still not sure what it is. I treated Mr. Brooks for complaints of dizziness and fever. He also had been vomiting. Suddenly he went into AFib and was crashing. I did all I could to revive him, but pronounced him dead at 23:04. Later, I got a call telling me that not only were 2 night shift lab techs missing, but Mr. Brooks too. Also on call, Dr. Peterson was found torn to bits. Parts of his internal organs had been torn from his body and not accounted for, possibly consumed. Keikoa does not seem surprised. I know he knows more. I continue. We have pinpointed a few symptoms: dizziness, fever, fainting, and blacking out, near death, possible death, and then coming to, like being reanimated. After one has come back, they feel a strong hunger to consume living human or animal flesh. We have to concur that there are only ways to stop them for a while, but regular means of attempting to harm or stop them, such as shooting them, cutting them, only stops them for a short period of time. They heal or come back to life. Keikoa has been recording me with my permission. He finally shuts off his recorder. I have something you need to see. He switched on the camcorder and turns it to face me on the screen. I am watching the attack at 37th Street. As far as Double T had filmed it, everything I had told Kikoa is validated in the video. It shows Double T walking into the abandoned shelter and approaching a pile of bodies that have been checked by the NYPD and said to have been dead. However, as he gets close, one of them reaches up and grabs him and is trying to pull him down. He calls out for help. Officer Steven comes in and shoots the person grabbing his foot. He goes down. Double T asks why he shot the guy, and you can hear Officer Stevens say, because that motherfucker was dead when we checked him. They all were. But he bit me. They are ill with some sort of virus, I think, but we are not certain. He was going to bite you. I'm a rookie. I panicked. We were never trained for this shit. So somewhere, Officer Stevens is missing or dead. I need to check the ER for records of Stevens and anyone who treated him. We were busy with all the people coming in last night following your report. Kikoa and I do not need to say anything and I do not need to say again that the report brought down panic over the people of NYC. But it sure has. We have to find Ian Brooks, before his mother finds out. We do not want to upset her. If this can't be explained, this is terrible, and we have already found prints and DNA, but that put Brooks at the scene here at the time that Dr. Peterson was killed and eaten. Also missing are 2 night shift attendants, Todd Hill and John Reardon. We are performing autopsies on all the bodies found at 37th, Ground Zero, and Lieutenant Don Bradford, age 54, attacked after re-entering the building and shooting the people he declared dead. We have to look at his apartment to see if he was working on, what he was working on or with. You're a reporter. Can you help me work on this? How can I help? Well, I need to get into Mr. Brooks' apartment and see what can be found, pointing to his illness and when he felt sick. I was hoping you could help me. You know, get in and also take photos of whatever we find. I cannot get out until they lift the lockdown. They need to work on all examinations and find the cause and hopefully a cure. This can't go further. It's not an epidemic, but the seriousness is the state of the dead coming back to life. We need to find out what it is and where it came from. As we talk, a few more bodies have been brought in a bum with a bite mark on his neck who is dead, and another one, a NYPD officer in the same alley 3 doors down behind a bakery. The owner of the shop was trying to fend off a holdup and shot him as he passed. He was shot in the head. He has been identified upon discovery as rookie Richard Stevens, who was reported missing and after taking a call and getting treatment here for a bite. Keiko looks at me, picks up an apple, and with a full mouth says, "Let's go." He takes me on the telemed with him. Okay, so that's the end of that chapter. Next is Prologue Part 3, Entry 14, Year of Djoser 2669. After I had noticed that the female laid her egg sac, I decided to experiment more with her. I have tried something quite outstanding. I took the female spider and stuck her with a needle. She seemed to die right in front of my eyes. I swear to you she was dead. But by mid-morning she was alive once again. I still observe the beetle, and it is still walking as if confused as to where to go. I have put other bugs in, and it attacks them and devours them quite readily and completely. I am not sure why the spider is able to recover and live normally, while the beetle seems confused and does nothing, but has a strong will to eat, kill, and eat. I study them night and day and figure out that the draft was given to the spider through eating it from the male spider who had been covered in it. So she consumed the draft more directly. She had fought with the beetle, thus killing it with her venom. But somehow the draft must have allowed the beetle to reanimate. Now I cannot wait for the death of this spider. I must kill her to see if she herself returns to life. I stick her with a needle and keep her that way, and these are my findings. The sundial moves several marks and she begins to move again. Again I wait, and the sundial moves more than past noon when I started. She is still struggling to be free. I remove the needle and count 20 plus 5, and she has no sign of being stuck. She goes to the corner of the box and finds her web, climbs up, and seems to be fine. The next morning I put a fly in the box, and she catches it in her web and attacks it the same as always. She attends her webbing. Now add another male spider. They mate. She sucks the fluid from his body, leaves his empty body there. She continues her webbing and lays several egg sacs. From my findings, she is able to lay egg sacs and continue her life cycle. We are running out of time. Djoser is becoming more suspicious as the days go on. I believe the draft is ready, whether it is or not. I cannot be completely sure, but the most part, it has kept the spider alive even after being killed. I will tell my love, this is outstanding news. I think I could go on one more. C2, 9 a.m. Ian's apartment looks like the most single guy's places from what I can see via telemed. Kikoa is working for me to collect everything possible since it has not been declared a crime scene. We are one step ahead of NYPD. The fridge has nothing worth eating and no clues. It appears he had eaten leftover pizza, so I tell Keiko to bag it up to see if we can run a scan to see how old it is, any mold or particulates to tell us if it is a possible match to anything causing this illness. Keiko also finds a few SD cards, which we will have to look at back at the lab. His computer is locked with a code. Keiko finds a crate and packs up everything I ask him to. The recorded messages on his phone are all full, and his cell phone is on the countertop. Strange that he left it here. We need to listen to the messages too. All of it gets logged into our catalog of items removed for the investigation, placed in plastic evidence boxes. There is vomit on the bed. We take the whole sheet. There is evidence that he has recently been out of the country, Egypt. There are usual signs that suggest he has been gone for a while. Passport says a month. He seems to have had packages picked up and saved by a neighbor. I jot down his name to ask him when the last time he saw Mr. Brooks. The room has some dust on the bookshelves, and there's a spider web or two here and there. I notice one has an egg sac. No sign of a spider. John Murdoch, apartment 2D, Ions is 2C. I have Kikoa check with the neighbors too. Whoever was home to see if they feel okay and if they have seen him. Mr. Murdoch is saddened to hear that his neighbor is missing. It seems that Ian kept watch over Mr. Murdoch and his 3 cats. Sometimes brought him a meal or two when he could. Ian is a good guy. Brought me my paper and mail, even coffee and a bagel from Nellie's place. Oh, I hope you find him. His mother must be sick with worry. Mr. Murdoch let us go. He had to attend to his cats. He did not want them getting out. We did not tell Mr. Murdoch that Ian was pronounced dead. No need to freak him out. He seemed distraught enough. Kikoa heads back and brings me a crate of things I need to look over. He has to leave it with the delivery door in the basement. I take the crate when the security passes it in for me. Yeah. I think we're going to have to stop there. It's only 17 minutes, but I don't know. Well, let's go. Because I missed yesterday. 3 hours ago, John's POV, point of view. This is page 49, by the way. Todd, John, and Janice. Todd and I make it back to his place. I want to leave him. Now, remember, this is 3 hours ago. I want to leave him with Janice, but upon seeing us, she tells us one of the cops has been calling her to ask if she's seen us. It is important to go down to the hospital lab and get some testing. Todd is burning up and I am too dizzy to drive anymore. It is starting to pour, lightning and thunder. Let us rest a bit. We cannot go out in this. I gesture out to the sounds of water hitting the window pane and rolling thunder and crackling lightning. Janice cleans his bandage and mine too, then asks me if I need something. Can I use the phone? I need to call my ma. She hands it to me and led Todd to their room. Ma, it's John. Ma, John. Ma is getting hearing problems, so I have to yell, especially on this phone. Ma, look, there is some bad sickness going around. You need to stay in. Lock up. Don't go out. The TV, Ma. Look on the TV. I gotta work late. I love you. See you tomorrow. Okay, Ma? You too. I hang up and notice Janice is in the kitchen behind me. She has a bunch of questions but tells me to lay down on the couch. She put a pillow and a blanket. I thank her and went to lay down. I am sicker than a mutt. I think I dream about someone talking about me and Todd. They both work in the morgue. Thank you. Yes, this is Janice Lochner. My boyfriend and his best friend both work in the morgue lab during the night shift. Yes, okay, I will hold. In the night I hear screams. I hear things crashing around, thunder, lightning. I taste blood and feel guts being ripped with my teeth. I now see Janice all covered in blood, and Todd is eating her. I am eating her flesh too. A teeny voice calls out, Miss Lochner, Miss Lochner. Click. Now only lightning, rain, and darkness fill the air around me. I am not waking up. It is not a dream. We continue to eat. Janice stops struggling. Since we were still on lockdown, I wait for Keiko to call me via telemed chat. Professor Manish and Isobe have news. They have identified 3 Vicks and have them still up in the autopsy tables. Professor Manish begins first. Number 1, male Caucasian, veteran Lieutenant Randall Johnson, age 54, had suffered a bite on his hand, but died of multiple wounds and loss of liver, spleen, and parts of his stomach and intestines. We swabbed the bite mark on the hand and found DNA that did not match anyone here so far. I record notes for later dictation. I am Dr. Starr Ambers. I am head pathologist and attending doctor for Ian Brooks. He is missing. I do not consider this to be a serial killing. This is some sort of viral infection or some other form of pathological virus spread by direct contact, specifically being bitten or scratched by the infected sources. The DNA found in the wound on his hand are different than the DNA we found on the rest of his body or in our other Vicks. I continue. The DNA from the wound recovered from number 1 finds that we are looking for a male Caucasian, but also so far none of the Vicks match his DNA. I have isolated one very rare pathogen which I have never found or studied before. It multiplies rapidly, and I have found nothing here in this lab to stabilize or kill it. I have found this pathogen in other 2 Vicks blood panel as well, but not the DNA matching what I have found in Vic 1. Usually a pathogen will begin to slow down or even die if removed from the host. This pathogen continues to multiply after being removed from the host. In fact, it seems to feed off of all the cells around it and mutates into something I have never seen or studied. Upon further observation, I have actually found not 1, but 2 pathogens that have somehow mutated into one. When I try to remove it from another, the missing pathogen grows back. I have joined Professor Manish. I placed the recorder down on the tray and bend forward to look at what Manish is showing me. I remember to introduce Professor Manish and ask who we are looking at. Number 2, D.I. Dawn Bradford, 56. And number 3, Rookie Richard Stevens, 27. Professor Manish explains that they were both at the scene, however not killed at the same time. Rookie Steven appears to have sustained a bite to the ankle, but apparently cause of death was a single gunshot, bullet in and out. It was retrieved and logged into evidence, but the bakery shop owner shot him accidentally, witnesses reported. We have found a receipt for examinations here in the ER. After midnight, a PA, Janet Firmgrove, was in attendance, who treated him and released him at 24:44. D.I. Bradford had parts of his body ripped and eaten away, like number 1, Johnson, but neither one shares the DNA removed from Johnson. But they all have the pathogen we are calling 37 unknown, or 37 UNKN, coming from 37th Street. And we have listed the DNA as 37 UNKN DNA until we have identified it, she explains. We will begin autopsies on the bodies recovered. So far, we have something to look for. Good morning, Manish and Isobi. Keep me posted. I will join you in a bit. I click off the recorder. Next is Ian Brooks, photographer. So that's it for tonight because it's 26 minutes. I like to try to keep these as short as possible. So thank you for joining me, and I might do some more. Depends on how close, how much more time I have. Not here, but for another video. I'll see. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your likes. In the comments, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them as soon as I see them. Thank you.